my Memphis homie really broke the news for real. And he told me that Tay Keith, super producer Tay Keith, passed away in Memphis today. He's responsible for Sexyy Red. He's done a lot for Drake. You know, the last few years he's really been putting game down. You couldn't go nowhere without hearing the Tay Keith beat. I don't want to assume, but just based off what people tell me about Tay Keith, he was a super low-key guy. I don't think he was in the streets. He lived in the studio, but I don't think he was murdered or was any crazy violence with him. We could only assume it was, you know, with a lot of other legends passed away, but we can only assume. I could be wrong, and I apologize if I'm wrong. But I don't want to guess. Think about how many people have passed away in the rap space. We don't talk about it often, but just people dying in the rap space, man.
On June 18th, 2026, Brytavious Chambers, known to the world as Tay Keith, was found dead in his Nashville apartment during a welfare check. He was 29 years old. Within hours, headlines were circulating claiming that rappers had revealed how he was killed. Here's the problem with that. When you go back and look at what the police actually said, and what the people in the rap community actually said, the headline falls apart completely. This video is about what the record actually shows, and about the man behind the name. First, the man. Because the size of this loss makes no sense unless you understand what he built. Brytavious Chambers grew up in South Memphis, a city with one of the deepest and grittiest musical bloodlines in the country. He started making beats at 14, uploading early work to YouTube and DatPiff, the kind of quiet, self-driven grind that almost nobody breaks through on. His father moved in and out of prison during his earliest years, and he described watching his parents hustle constantly. His father working locksmith jobs deep into the night, his mother running her own thing, and falling asleep in the car while the work got done. That's the education he received. Not a lecture, just watching. There's a story from those early years that hits differently now. His father paid for piano lessons the family could barely afford, but Tay Keith admitted he wasn't really present for them the way a student needs to be. So he made a decision. He would find a way to make hits anyway, formal training or not. That stubbornness paid off. He described one of the most precious moments of his life as lying on the floor of a room with no TV but a working radio, and hearing one of his own beats broadcast across Memphis for the first time. He earned a Grammy nomination at 23, while still finishing his degree at Middle Tennessee State University. He co-produced Travis Scott's Sicko Mode, one of the defining rap records of its era. He graduated in December 2018, the same year the song dropped, with degrees in integrated studies and media management. He later received a second Grammy nomination for Rich Flex by Drake and 21 Savage in 2024. BMI named him Producer of the Year 3 times, most recently in 2024. The catalog runs through the center of modern rap: Drake's Non-Stop, Blockboy JB's Look Alive, Eminem's Not Alike, a bonus track on Beyoncé's Homecoming Live album, Sexyy Red's Pound Town and Sexyy, Jack Harlow's Just Us in 2025, Travis Scott's most recent project. He wasn't a producer who peaked with one era and held on. He was current, working, and still shaping the sound right up to the end. The people who covered him in those first hours kept coming back to the same thought. He was 29 with so much road still ahead of him. Now here's the official record, because this is where the headline falls apart. Metro Nashville police confirmed that Tay Keith was found unresponsive in his Martin Street apartment on Thursday afternoon by officers performing a welfare check. Their statement was direct and specific. No foul play is suspected in his death. His death is unclassified pending autopsy results. That's it. That's the official account. No crime described, no cause determined. The investigation is formally open while the autopsy is completed, which is standard procedure when a young person dies unexpectedly at home. The phrase, "no foul play suspected," in law enforcement terms specifically means investigators found nothing at the scene indicating another person was responsible. His family confirmed his passing in a statement Friday, describing him as a visionary producer, songwriter, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and cultural force. They noted he was a passionate supporter of mental health awareness and cancer-related causes in honor of his late mother, and that he had partnered with the National Museum of African American Music to provide gifts, food, and a seminar to young people the previous Christmas. The family said they would share memorial arrangements at a later date. That's the record. Now, what about these rappers who supposedly revealed how he was killed? The most watched early reaction came from a Memphis personality who said he had just heard the news from someone he knew. Right from the start, he was transparent about what he did and didn't know. He began by listing the work, Sicko Mode, Drake, the run of years where Tay Keith's sound was simply everywhere, and described how constant and undeniable that production streak had been. Then he moved to the question everyone wanted answered, and he immediately told the audience up front that he was guessing. He said he didn't want to assume. He described the picture people had given him of Tay Keith as someone extremely low-key who lived in the studio and stayed out of the streets. Based on that, he pushed back against any violent cause, saying directly that he didn't think it was murder or any kind of crazy violence. He then offered a theory, a single word pointing not at violence but at something else, and then immediately walked it back. He apologized in advance for being wrong. He said he didn't want to guess. He repeated some version of that disclaimer every time he got near a theory, the behavior of someone who knows he doesn't know. His actual message, when you set the speculation aside, was a plea directed at his audience. He used the moment to talk about how often people in the rap world die young and how quietly it passes. He urged anyone watching who was struggling with anything to find someone to talk to. He said opening up is considered weak in his community, but that it shouldn't be. That is what the reaction actually looked like. Not a reveal. A man on camera grieving, refusing to invent a cause, and turning the moment into a direct appeal for people to check on each other. So let's take the headline apart, because it makes 3 specific claims, and all 3 collapse under the actual record. The claim that he was killed implies a violent cause at the hands of another person. The police said explicitly the opposite, no foul play suspected. The claim that rappers revealed it implies people with actual knowledge disclosed a hidden fact. The most prominent voice said openly and repeatedly that he had no information beyond the death itself, and that everything he said beyond that was an assumption he could be wrong about. The claim that there was finally a reveal implies an answer arrived after a wait. The autopsy had not been completed at the time of reporting, meaning the how was still formally undetermined. There was nothing to reveal because no confirmed cause existed. The earliest reaction even got the city wrong initially. Early posts placed the death in Memphis before official reporting confirmed it was his Nashville apartment. If the people sharing it couldn't get the location right in those first hours, the idea that they possessed hidden knowledge about the cause has no foundation at all. What was actually spreading in those first hours was grief. Unfiltered, immediate, real grief from a community that had just lost someone who had been the sound of their era. Someone who was 29 and still in the middle of everything he was building. Tay Keith spent his career talking about where he came from and what it meant. He said struggle makes you, that nothing handed to you is valued the way something earned is. He talked about the importance of being genuine, kind, and humble. He mentored young producers who reached out to him for advice. He never hesitated. He built a company, Dramatized, to create opportunities for emerging artists. He stayed an active presence at Middle Tennessee State after graduating, supporting students and returning to give back to the school that supported him during his breakthrough. He left behind 2 Grammy nominations, 3 BMI Producer of the Year awards, a catalog that stretches from the top of the charts to the side room on Beyoncé's live album, a family who knew him as Bry Tavius, a source of love, strength, laughter, and guidance, a city that claimed him completely. Memphis Mayor Paul Young posted a tribute alongside a photo of the 2 of them together. The cause of his death is pending. The investigation is open. Anyone telling you with confidence how it happened right now is working ahead of what the official record actually shows. What is confirmed is that he was found gone too soon in a quiet apartment in Nashville, that no one else appears to have been involved, and that the world lost something genuinely irreplaceable at 29. Drop a comment. What's the Tay Keith production that hit you the hardest?